Hey world, 9 minutes motivation at 9 a.m. is inspired by me and sponsored by Janmashtami today. I'm Deepak here and my life is beautiful and I stay on top of the world because I work as worship. I think some characters of, it's a character but I don't know have right word for that. Because today we celebrate Janmashtami, the birth of Lord Krishna in a human form. So much to speak about. So I'm going to speak for a long time. For those of you who want to listen on Krishna, of Krishna, about Krishna, and know Krishna, you continue to log in from there whenever we go live. It so happened that after the war of Kurukshetra got over, so depending on everything that is happening in their life, their karmas, it seems that few of them went to hell, few of them went to heaven. Most of the Pandavas were in heaven, and few Kauravas also. Most of the Kauravas were also in hell, and few of them from Pandavas also said. Surprisingly, they saw Krishna was neither in heaven nor in hell. He was in the abode of Vaikuntham, sitting there. Duryodhana got very upset. He said, thought the whole war happened only because of this person. Because of him, so many people got killed. So many things happened, and I think we know all the history of the entire mythology of Mahabharata. I was very upset. So he goes to God of death and says, I think this is absolute divine injustice. Yeah, I know I have done wrong things, committed some sins, and so is Pandavas also. So I understand. Few of us are in hell, few of us are in heaven, but Krishna alone is neither in hell nor heaven, and whole thing is only because of him. We all know how many people he killed, how many wars he initiated, and how much has happened. But in fact, we can count the number of deaths he is responsible for, from Kansa to that Putana to so many people. How come it is like that? God's death, or you can also say Dharamraj, explains something like this. And I think it's very, very important for all of us to understand on this Janmashtami why Krishna did what Krishna did. So all of you, Dharamraj said, all of you fought or did everything in your life for your personal gain, for your selfish motives. Krishna did not live a single moment of his life for his personal gain. Not a single war he initiated, or not a single person who was killed was for his own personal revenge or vengeance. There's no selfish motives in what Krishna did his entire lifetime. He did not have any enmity against Kamsa, but the people of Mathura were harassed and been absolutely exploited, and they've been very big victimized by Kamsa. And to release them, there was an invitation from Mathura that can you help us to release people from this anarchy of what Kamsa was doing. He called him for a fight, not even a fight, called him for a sport called Dvanda Yuddha. And in the play itself, he used that opportunity to, and Kamsa was killed. And that entire Mathura he did not keep for himself. He handed over to the next most responsible person of Mathura, and then he left from there and came back to Gokul, including marrying Rukmini. Krishna never wanted to marry anybody. How much ever we understand about Radha Krishna, that is a different episode altogether. Krishna went because Rukmini called for help, saying she's been getting married to somebody without her consent, and it's not fair that women's consent is not taken. I think you are the best person to understand this. So please, to make me free from this, come and take me from here. And the only way to take her out from there was to get married to her. So Krishna married to Rukmini not for his personal gain or selfish reasons, but because he had any ulterior motive behind it. Absolutely selflessly for the sake of Rukmini, he went literally saying in our words, kidnapped her and brought her back and got married to her, not for herself. Including the major thing about war of Kurukshetra, it was between Pandavas and Kauravas. It was not between Krishna and others. It was between Pandavas and Kauravas. And what did he gain at the end of it? Except for the bad name, a lot of people from every other side, or especially from Kaurava's side, what did he gain? The entire thing was given to Pandavas, and he came back again to his own state where he wanted to stay, Dwarka. So everything he did, he played flute so that his people, his gopis will dance and enjoy, and they'll feel good. He could have played the flute for himself, but he never played the flute for himself. He just kept playing flute because he felt like, not because he liked to do it. Anything you do, you take any episode of the entire Mahabharata and you realize Krishna did everything from killing to loving to creating some conspiracies, all for not his personal motives, selflessness. So his entire actions were based on selflessness. So he doesn't attract any karmic debts to his life or karmic investments to his life. So he can neither be in hell nor he can be in heaven. He's transcended everything and he's gone beyond. You people, God of Death says, you people, you fought for land, you fought for enmity, you fought for revenge, including Pandavas. So there was a selfish motive behind the entire thing. So you attracted yourself to either hell or heaven. So, my dear friend, the lesson from this whole understanding, what I understood was how much can you become selfless, that much you will not have karmic debts. This whole idea of donations, the idea of social service, people do, especially elderly people do, only because at some point they realize, I think they can balance the karma of theirs by doing some good work at the end of their life. It doesn't work like that. There's a different part altogether. I discuss in the live when I go with all my kingdomites. We're going to celebrate Janmashtami. We will be also having the Handi today. But how much can you be selfless in life? And it's not easy. That is why last year when I turned 50, I decided I will not live anymore to fulfill my desires, because I think I have satiated, satisfied, fulfilled all my desires, all my materialistic desires, all my emotional desires. To a large extent in last 1 year, I will not be able to give myself 100 out of 100, but I can still definitely give you 98, 99 out of 100. I did not live a single moment of my life expecting something from myself. Not that I wanted to balance my karma, but I realized at that point, and that point it's the beginning of it. जहाँ आँख खुले वही सवेरा होता है भाई. So can we start today on the Janmashtami? In some aspects of life, can we be selfless? Starting from maybe one relationship you take, in this relation, and that will not be your child. That will not be your child. It can be any other relationship except your child. If you are a parent, that in that relationship you will be selfless. You will not be selfish in the relationship. Oh, it's very difficult. Okay, difficult. I'll make it easy because so many students are sitting down here right now. Can at least on food or in a breakfast you will be selfless. Whatever mummy will make, wife will make in the house, it has been made. I will, without making fuss of it, selflessly I'll eat. Whatever you give, I'll eat. Don't have a list of desires. Breakfast I want this, lunch I want this, dinner I want this. If you don't give me, I'll become upset. And if you do something like this, anything you do with a selfish desire, selfish motive behind it, it will attain a karma, and it can be positive, it can be negative, it will be a karmic debt, it can be a karmic investment, either ways. But you want to live beyond it. You have to. or one has to practice selflessness if you don't want to attract this or that, and you can just transcend beyond everything else. It's not easy, but that's the challenge of Krishna. Is a great inspiration, aspiration for millions and billions across the world. I think इतना तो बनता है उसके लिए, that believe that we will play our part in becoming selfless in some aspect of life. Let's start this beautiful, beautiful morning together. So guys, go get set and grow. अपने लोग